Yo, you got these sisters out here that got good brothers, you know, teaching them the truth, being the priest of their household. You know, let your man lead. Let that brother lead. Let him be the priest that he was called to be for the house.
You got a brother that put the Most High first. Said he's always in the scriptures. He's always reading.
Shalom Israel. This is Brother Quadash from One Nation, One Power. I want to give all glory and honor to the Most High Ahaya, Bahashem Yeshaya, Ruach Quadash, which is the Heavenly Father's name, I am that I am, and His Son's name, who people call Jesus Christ, which is Yeshaya in the Hebrew, and the Ruach Quadash, which is the Holy Spirit. Today I want to do a lesson on men of the Most High with faith. Okay, this lesson is specifically for the men out there, okay, that are striving to be righteous brothers. Okay, and we're going to use Daniel as an example of being a righteous brother with faith. Okay, so follow me. We're going to go to Daniel chapter 6. All right, and we're going to read 1 through 2. And it reads, "It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 prince, which should be over the whole kingdom." Okay, Darius, he was setting up his kingdom at this point. Okay, and he was having people over certain areas. Okay, verse 2. "And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first." Okay, Daniel was first. Let's think about that. Daniel was in captivity. But, you know, Daniel wasn't a Persian or a Mede. He was an Israelite. So what was up with that? The Darius knew something about Daniel. Daniel was righteous. Okay, let's keep reading. "That the prince might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage." Okay, so he wanted to set up Daniel to be first so his kingdom could be right. Okay, because he knew Daniel had a good spirit on him. He knew Daniel was, you know, feared his God. Okay, he knew that his God was with him. All right, but let's get a precept. Let's go to Exodus chapter 18. Follow me. Exodus chapter 18. And we're going to read 21 through 22. Okay, and this is Moses in the wilderness. Okay, and they were setting up shop. Okay, they were choosing men, okay, at this time. All right, so let's go to Exodus 18 and read 21 through 22. And it reads, "Moreover, thou shalt prove out of all the people able men," right? Like I just said, "such as fear God." Okay, this was the criteria. All right, you had to fear God, keep His commandments, right? "Men of truth," okay, spitting that truth, "hating covetousness," okay, we know what covetousness is, "and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50, and rulers of 10. Okay, so what we have to do, because we see Daniel being promoted, okay, by King Darius. Now we seeing right here in Moses' time other people being promoted to certain rulers over, you know, 50s, over 10s. You know, this was the criteria. So now we as men of the Most High, we have to analyze ourselves and see if we're walking in that truth. Are we walking in that fear? Are we hating covetousness? Okay, it's something to think about. All right. let's go back to Daniel's. Go back to Daniel's chapter 6, and we're going to read verse 3 now. Okay, and it reads, Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and prince because an excellent spirit was in him. Okay, this is why he was preferred, because that excellent spirit that he carried, that we should carry, the fruits of the spirit, right? It was in him, and all the other nations were witnesses to this, to Daniel. They knew it, right? He was being a light to all the world. Okay, it says, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. So the king was thinking to himself, like, man, I'm going to set him over everybody. But you think the other Persians and Medes like that? No, they didn't like that. Right? So, you know, we're gonna keep reading. I'm gonna go to a precept though. Let's go to you know, they said Daniel had an excellent spirit, right? Let's go to 2 Samuel real quick, chapter 23, and we're gonna read 1 through 4. 2 Samuel chapter 23, 1 through 4. Okay. This is 2 Samuel chapter 23, and we're going to read 1 through 4. Now these be the last words of David. Okay, this is King David. David, the son of Jesse, said, and the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of God, of Jacob, and the sweet psalms of Israel said, the Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. Okay? So this is what David was saying. He's saying the person that's going to rule should be just and be in the fear of God. All right? Okay, verse 4. It says, and he shall be as the light of the morning. See, having that excellent spirit, as Daniel, being that light, that shining, that just like Yeshaya said, that shineth on a hill, right? It says, when the sun riseth, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springing out of the earth, by clear shining after rain. Okay, so that's that excellent spirit. Okay, that's that light that you have to be when you are a ruler, when you are over people. Okay, and this was Daniel was doing, but the Persians and the Medes didn't like that. Okay, and I'm just using this as an example of what David was saying. Okay, because David was a light. Okay, just like Daniel, right? All right, now let's go back to Daniel chapter 6. Now we're going to read verse 4. Excuse me. It says, then the presidents and prince sought to find occasions against Daniel concerning the kingdom. So they didn't want Daniel to be on top. They didn't want Daniel to be in leadership. So they had to find occasions against him, right? And it says, but they couldn't find none occasions nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. You see, Daniel was an example. Even the other nations knew. They were like, man, how are we gonna find fault in this brother? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna knock him down? Right? There's no fault. And we have to analyze ourselves. Are we walking in that same spirit? Right? Let's get a precept. Let's go to Revelations chapter 14. And we're going to read 4 and 5. Revelations 14, 4 and 5. Okay, and it reads, These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruit unto God and unto the Lamb. Okay, this is a future prophecy. Okay, this is talking about the people that were following Christ in today's time. Okay, and back then too. Okay, that didn't defile themselves, but stayed faithful to Christ, right? But listen to this next verse. It says, And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Okay, just like Daniel, when he was in the presence of the Persians and the Medes, he had no fault. So these brothers right here, they also had no fault before the throne of God. Okay, and that's how Daniel was. He had no fault before the throne of God. He was innocent. He was righteous. It's the same thing we have to be. That's just, and we have to see, this is an example. Men of the Most High. Okay, now let's go back to Daniel's. Go back to Daniel's chapter 6. We're breaking this down with precepts. All right, Daniel's chapter 6, and we're going to read verse 5. Then said these men, We shall not find any occasions against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Okay, so now they're going to try to use the law of the Most High against him, because they knew that he followed the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Okay, and that's that's something that we have to look forward to, because we're following the Most High's law in the near future. I don't know when it's going to be, but we're going to be tried in the fire, just like that, right? Let's get a precept. Let's go to Acts 24, and we're going to read 10 through 16, because we're going to read about Paul. Remember, this is men of the Most High. All right, this is Acts chapter 10, or chapter 24, and we're going to start at verse 10. Okay, and then it says, okay, this is Paul defending before the governor Felix. All right, it says, Then Paul, after that the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, For as much as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself, because that thou mayest understand that there are yet but 20 days since I went up to Jerusalem for to worship, and they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man, neither raising up the people, neither in the synagogues nor in the cities. Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me. Okay, so they're accusing Paul right here of raising up the people. Okay, and he was like, man, I haven't even been to Jerusalem for 12 days. What are you talking about, right? It says, verse 14, But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, right, so worshipped I the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. So they were calling the way Paul believed in the law and the prophets heresy. They're like, man, what is this guy? Man, what is he doing? See, Paul didn't care. He's like, man, I worship my God. I don't care what you think. Let's read verse 15. And have hope towards God, See, he had hope towards God, even though he was being accused, being tried, which they themselves also allow, that there should be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and the unjust. And herein do I exercise myself, to have always a confidence void of offense towards God and towards men. So Paul didn't care. Paul had faith. Paul don't care what anybody said, came against him. This is how I worship my God. I wasn't raising up nobody. I was just following the law, statutes, and commandments. If you didn't like it, it's oh well. Oh well. This is how I worship. Okay? And that's the same thing we have to be. Just like Daniel. Okay? Daniel gives a good... Man, let's go back. Let's go back. Go back to Daniel chapter 6. Let's see what else else goes on with Daniel. Daniel chapter 6, and we are at verse 6. And it says, Then these presidents and prince assembled together to the king and said, Thus to him, King Darius, live forever. Okay, so these wise men, man, they thought they was wise, right? They came to King Darius with a plan to go against Daniel. All right. All the presidents, verse 7, all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the prince, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he should be cast into the den of lions. Okay? So they're like, man, we just made a rule. If they don't come to you, king, throw them in the den of lions within 30 days. Okay? If they can't just ask you straight out, throw them in the den of lions. Okay? This is what they said. Because they knew that Daniel prayed to the Most High. It says, verse 8, Now, O king, establish the decree and sign and the writings, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter not. Therefore, King Darius signed the writings and the decree. Okay, King Darius, okay. Man, all right, not even thinking about, Daniel, not even thinking, because he knew Daniel prayed to his God. He just did it, right? They tricked him. Verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his window being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did afar time. Okay, so Daniel, he knew that the sign, that it was signed and documented and everything, but Daniel still obeyed the law. He still prayed to his God. He still did the things that he did, okay, to his God. He didn't care, right? Let's see what Daniel knew. This is what Daniel knew. He had faith. This is the faith that I'm talking about, okay? Let's go to 1 Kings 8:30. This is what Daniel knew. This is also what we need to know. Let's go to 1 Kings 8:30. Okay, and it reads, 1 Kings 8:30. It says, And hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray towards this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. Okay, so he knew, like Daniel, he prayed and he kneeled on his knees 3 times a day and prayed towards Jerusalem. He knew that the Most High heard his prayers. Okay, he knew this because Solomon prayed this prayer and God accepted it. Okay, this was written. That's what that faith comes in. Daniel knew, right? Let's get another precept. I'm gonna show you how Yeshaya knew too. All right. Let's go to John 19, 10 and 11. Okay. Okay, this is when Yeshaya was with Pontius Pilate. Okay, and it reads, this is John 19 and 10. It says, Then said Pilate unto him, Speak thou not unto me. Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? Right? So Pontius Pilate was like, man, I have the power. So why don't you, go negotiate with me, right? That's what he was doing with Yeshaya, right? Verse 11, it says, Yeshaya answered, Thou canst have no power at all against me, except it was given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee has the greater sin. Okay. So just like Daniel, he knew, just like Yeshaya knew, Daniel knew. Okay, he knew that this judgment is from God, not from man. See, and this is how spiritual we need to be as men of the Most High, knowing this stuff. Okay, and Yeshaya said, he that has the greater, says, unto thee has the greater sin. Who delivered me unto thee has the greater sin. So who delivered Daniel? The brothers that put that new rule, okay, of writing to the king. They have the greater sin, right? So this is where our spiritual mind needs to come into play, to know this type of stuff. Okay, that all judgment is from the Most High. All right. So now let's go to Daniel. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 6. And let's read verse 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. So they found him. They're like, okay, we got him. He didn't ask the king. He's going to his God. Right? Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel was, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regard not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was so displeased within him, with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Okay, so when the king found out that, it was Daniel, the king was like, man, what did I do? I know that Daniel prays to his God all the time. He found out he was being tricked. So the king, he labored day and night, labored all that night trying to get him out of that, right? Let's go to a precept. Because we need to know where the judgment comes from, right? Okay, because we know that physically it's in the king's hand, right? But let's get a scripture. Let's go to Proverbs 29 and 26. Proverbs 29 and 26. And it reads, many seek the ruler favor. So many seek the ruler's favor, right? Just like Daniel. But Daniel didn't seek him. The king was doing it himself, right? But every man judgment cometh from the Lord. Okay, so Daniel knew this. Every man's judgment comes from the Lord. Everybody that is put to death comes from the Most High. Okay, it's more spiritual than physical. We gotta understand this as men of the Most High. Daniel understood this. Okay, so let's go back to Daniel's. Let's go back to Daniel's 6 and 15. Daniel 6 and 15. All right. Daniel 6 and 15. And it reads, then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spoke and said unto Daniel, thy God whom thou servest continuously, he will deliver thee. Okay, so the king went to Daniel, was like, man, I know that your God is going to deliver you. Don't worry about it. I know I was looking to try to get you out, but he's going to deliver you. Okay, let's get a precept. Let's go to Isaiah 46, 3 and 4. Isaiah 46, 3 and 4. Isaiah 46, 3 and 4. And it reads, hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the valley, which are carried from the womb, and even to your old age I am he, and even to hoar hair will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and will deliver you. Okay, so the Most High says, O Jacob, from the womb, I created you, I buried you, I carried you, and I will deliver you. Okay, we have to have this divine deliverance in our hearts, to knowing that if we get in a situation, the Most High will deliver us if we are righteous, just like Daniel, right? Daniel knew this. The king knew this. He knew that Daniel had an excellent spirit in him, right? Okay, so now let's go back to Daniel's chapter 6. Daniel's chapter 6. And we're going to read 17 through 20. And it says, and a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own seal, or signet, and with the signet of his lords. that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting, neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. So he didn't sleep, he didn't hear music, he was fasting. He was praying for Daniel. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spoke and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continuously able to deliver thee from the lions? Is he able to deliver you from the lions? We all know the story. Yeah, he got delivered. He got delivered. Right? Let's get a precept. Who delivered him? What did the Most High do? Let's see in another situation, because the Most High changes not, right? Malachi 3 and 6, right? Let's go to Acts 27. Acts 27. Let's go to New Testament. Acts 27. Let's see if the Most High changes not. Acts 27, I'm going to read 22 through 25. And it reads, And now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship. Okay, this is Paul. Okay, he's on a ship, all right? For there stood by me this night the angel of God. Okay, that was that same angel that Daniel, we're going to read about it, all right? Whom I am and whom I serve, saying, Fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar, and lo, God has given thee all them that sail with thee. Therefore, steer, be of good cheer, for I believe God, that it shall be even as it was told me. Okay, we gotta believe, brothers and sisters. The Most High could send an angel, just like during Paul's time. Okay, just like during Daniel's time. This is that faith that I'm talking about, of that men of the Most High have to have. Men of the Most High and faith. Okay, have that faith that that angel gonna come and deliver you. Okay, because that angel was sent to Paul. Right? All right, now let's go back to Daniel's. Let's go back to Daniel. Go back to Daniel 6. Okay, now we're going to read, we'll continue reading. We're going to read 21 through 23. Let's see what happened. Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel. He has sent his angel. Just like Paul, he has sent his angel, right? And has shut the lion's mouth, that they have no hurt me. They have no hurt. They have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocence was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Okay, so innocence was found in Daniel by the Most High. Okay, the Most High, his eyes are upon the righteous all the time, man. He's on everybody, but he's more concerned with his men that are serving him, that are keeping his commandments. Okay, so the Most High is always watching us. We always got to act in a godly manner. Okay, not be too religious, but, you know, be like the prophets of old. Okay. Verse 23, it says, Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no matter of hurt was found upon him, because he lived, because he believed in his God. There goes that faith. Because he believed in his God. through that whole situation, people coming against him because he was about to be number one in the whole round. Okay, him being thrown in the lion's den, him being accused for praying to the Most High, he still kept that faith. That's that faith that I'm talking about. Okay, that shield of faith. Ephesians chapter 6, the shield of faith, right? Let's get another precept. Let's go. Let's get another precept. Let's go to Luke chapter 18. Since we're talking about the shield of faith, right? Luke chapter 18, I'm going to read 1 through 8. And it reads, "And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint." Right? So we always have to pray and always believe. Okay, because Daniel believed in his God, right? Believed in the Most High. It says, verse 2, saying, "There was in the city a judge, which feared not God, neither regarded men. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of my adversaries. And he would not for a while, but afterwards he said unto them himself, Though I fear not God, nor regard men, yet because this widow troubled me, I will avenge her, lest by her continually coming she weareth me. And the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge said. And shall not God avenge his own elect?" Okay, we seen him avenge Daniel, right? His own elect. Shouldn't he avenge you, right? This is a parable right here. This is an ungodly person avenging a widow. But we got to think about it. Isn't God, if we're righteous, isn't he going to avenge you, right? It says, verse 7, "And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily." This is Yeshua, he don't lie. He will avenge them speedily, right? "Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?" Okay, and that's that faith. That's that shield of faith, man. When Yeshua comes, he gonna find. Is he gonna find that faith? That faith that Daniel had. That faith that Daniel's three brothers had when they were thrown into the furnace, right? Fire. Is he gonna find that faith? We must have that faith, being the men of the Most High, brothers and sisters. And you got to let that man lead too, sister. Right? All right, now let's go to Daniel chapter 6 and verse 27. Right, this is Daniel 6 and verse 24. And it reads, "And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them their children, and their wives, and their lions, and the lions had the mastery of them, and broke all their bones into pieces, so ever they came at the bottom of the den." Verse 25. See, because Daniel had that faith, the Most High avenged him. He killed those brothers, their children, their wives, and they broke them into pieces with the lions. They're the ones that, were attacked by those lions. So that's how the Most High is going to avenge you, if you keep that faith going, brother. Verse 25, it says, "Then the king Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwelled in all the earth, Peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before God, the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be ever unto the end. Verse 27, he delivereth and rescueth. He delivereth and rescueth, just like he delivered Daniel and rescued him. Even the king's proclaiming that. Okay, and this king's from another nation. And it says, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persians. Okay, brothers and sisters, I just want to give all honor and glory to the Most High, Ahaya. I hope that this lesson, inspired you, to operate in that excellent spirit, having that faith that like Daniel did, Paul, being that leader that was chosen during Moses' time. I hope this helps you in your walk. And I just give all glory to the Most High, Ahaya, Bahashim Yeshaya, Ruach Kodash. Shalom, Israel. And if you have any prayer, go ahead and hit that comment box and we'll pray for you. Shalom, Israel. So be it.